You guys know I love podcasting and listening to podcasts, and I'm guessing if you're listening to this that you love podcasts too. Have you ever considered podcasting yourself? It is a great way to reach your audience, grow your know, like and trust factor, and not need to show your face unless you want to. If it is something you've thought about but you don't know where to start, then head over to becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz, BAP quiz, to access a 2-minute quiz that will help you work out what type of podcast might suit you. That's becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz. Automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. Bill Gates.
You're listening to WPC UK, the place to be if you are looking to grow and streamline your business in 2023. I'm your host, Donna Eade, and I'll be walking you through processes, productivity and planning, along with bringing you business experts with knowledge to share. Let's make 2023 the year of success in your business.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I am so glad to have you here today. We are going to be talking about automation today. It is one of my favourite topics. I believe that as a small business owner, we really should be looking to automate as much as possible. It is one of the best ways to streamline your business so that you have more space to grow. So let's jump into the show. So here are 3 areas in your business where automation can make a huge impact. Number 1, the first place that I want you to implement automation is your social media. So we're actually going to dive deep into social media automation next week. So definitely stick around and subscribe for that. You can also sign up on any of the podcast episodes to get notified of the podcast. So make sure that you do that so that you don't miss the episode, because it's going to be really good. So social media is a powerful tool for small businesses. You can't get away from it. It is absolutely everywhere. But managing your social media accounts can be so time consuming. Now, a lot of people say that you should just focus on one social media platform where your audience is, and that is it. But the fact is that other people also tell you, once you've decided on a name, go and get it. Make sure you can get it in every single social handle that is out there. But other people tell you that don't have a social media platform that is empty with nothing on it, because then people think that you're not in business. So you get a lot of conflicting information out there. And I'm not here to tell you which way is best. Sorry, I do not have the answers for you. I have tried it every which way, and I really don't think it makes a huge amount of difference. But if you have got multiple social media accounts, it can be really time consuming to think of unique copy and posts for each of those platforms. And if you are doing that, I want to tell you the first thing you need to do is to stop making individualized posts for each platform and instead repurpose what you're already using, because not everybody follows you on all platforms, which is another reason why I feel like it is good to have a presence on all the platforms, because you can reach different people. Your ideal client, you're going to know best where they hang out the most, and I would say that's the one that you focus on. So for example, if your clients are on Instagram, then make your image Instagram friendly, make your copy Instagram copy, and then repurpose that for the other platforms. So you still got a presence, but you're not having to highly focus on the way that each particular platform likes to have their information displayed. So that is what I would do, and it's what I do. So choose that platform and make sure that you are focused on optimizing your caption and your graphic for that particular platform, and then reutilize it. And we've spoken before about Canva and how Canva can help you with resizing images to the different platform sizes with a click of the button. You can leave it as it is. Sometimes it doesn't work. You've got to go in and adjust slightly, but it is much quicker to adjust something that's already done than to start from scratch on every platform. Now, you might be thinking, oh, but then the people that do follow me on multiple platforms are going to see me like 3 or 4 times a day with the same thing. Not going to happen because of the way that the different algorithms work. They might see you on Instagram because they're really active on Instagram and they check out your stuff on Instagram a lot. But if you do the same thing on LinkedIn, they might not see it on LinkedIn because they're not very active on LinkedIn. So when they go in there, they haven't interacted with your stuff. They don't see that so much. So don't think, oh my gosh, I've got, however many followers that are following me on all of my social platforms. They're going to get really annoyed with seeing me all day with the same exact thing because they're not going to see the exact same thing each time they log in. They're just not going to see it. So please don't worry about that. Using a scheduling tool like Canva, and I will come back to some tools later on, can really help just to make it a really simple solution. And the reason I talk about Canva a lot and why I love Canva is because you do it all in Canva. There is no downloading the image to upload it somewhere else to then add in your copy. You just do it all in Canva, which I really, really like. So I actually have an all-in-one platform that is my website, my booking system, social media scheduling, my sales pages, my sales funnels, my workflows. It's all in this one place. My email provider, my email scheduling and everything is all in this one platform. They do have social media scheduling. I don't use it because I use Canva, because if I was to use theirs, I would have to download it from Canva and then upload it into this other platform. And that is time that I haven't got to waste. So make sure that you are being smart with how you're scheduling and use tools that are going to save you time. Maybe you're not a fan of Canva. I would say become a fan. But if you're not a fan of Canva, find something else that and just take the path of least resistance, that the one that you can work on the quickest. So that is social media scheduling. It is really powerful and really is a great way of saving you time in your business. And if you batch, which we will talk about next week, then you can really, really nail down your social media to a very small portion of time, which is all it should be in your business. The next thing I wanted to talk about was email automation. Now, I have talked about email marketing before and how automating email marketing is a really good thing for your business. I have also talked about how I think it is really important to set expectations with potential clients and have an out of office that lets them know that the email has been received and how long it's going to take you to respond. So Amy Porterfield does this. She has her team have an automation set up that lets you know that the email has been received and that they will get back to you, and they give you the time frame in there. It is something I think all businesses should do because there is often that fear that you've sent an email, it's gone off into the ether, and you know how many times people have said, oh, I sent you an email and you didn't get it. So it's always a concern that the email didn't make it to the other end. And you're just playing the waiting game. Like, how long do you wait before you do a follow-up and see if they actually received it in the first place? Or how long do you leave it before you make that call? The fact is, if this is a client, a potential client, they're not going to. They're just going to assume that you didn't get it, you didn't receive it, that you don't care, and they'll take their business elsewhere. Just the fact of the matter. So make sure that you have these automations set up to help you. And email marketing is so powerful. It is a way of connecting with your potential clients as often as you would like. But by having email automation set up, by having the email responder send back the expectations, you're up-leveling the service that you are providing. You can send them an email that tells them when you're going to get back to them, and you can send them some extra information in there. So I wouldn't overdo it. I've seen some people that have sent those kind of emails back saying, hey, we've got your email. We hope to respond within the next 24 hours. If it goes over a weekend, we'll get back to you on Monday or whatever. And then they have sent, like, it's literally looks like a full email. If you just glanced at it, you think they've responded to you because they've literally written a full email. you can go here for this, you can go there for that, you could do this, you could do that, you could do. And I'm like, whoa, dude, none of that, absolutely none of that answers the question that I've just sent. And I've just wasted my time reading that. And you don't want your clients to feel like that. So make it short, make it sweet, but then give them an action that they can take. So if you know that a majority of your clients want to know what your packages are, for instance, and maybe you have set packages, this is how you do it, and you don't deviate from that, you could send an email back with your package brochure. Maybe you do packages, but you do bespoke, you do a bit of one-to-one work. Maybe you want to send them the packages and say, here is a look at my packages that you might be interested in. However, I know some people would rather work with me on one-to-one or a bespoke service, so I will get back to your email with an answer as soon as I can, so that they're not being overwhelmed, but you've given them something, you've given them an action to take. And if they take that action, that is a micro yes to you. You know, they've actually clicked on something you sent them, which is their way of saying, I am interested in what you're offering, which just makes them a higher probability to convert when you do talk to them, as long as you stick within your parameters that you've set out. So email marketing from that perspective is really, really powerful. And then email marketing, automation with your email marketing on a weekly basis is really powerful. So you can set up emails to go out automatically, and we'll talk about tools that you can use in a minute, but you can set up your emails to go automatically. Maybe you have a welcome sequence when somebody gets on your list that is like a way to nurture them. So maybe you have a freebie that they click on, then you have a email series that nurtures them. That can be automatic. Maybe you have emails that go out every week that are actually automatic. Maybe you do a batch of emails on a set day and you schedule them out for the next 3 months, and you don't have to think about it for 3 months. It's like there are lots of ways that you can make those automations work for you and save you time. And we spoke last week about that context switching and how, you know, it reduces your productivity. One of the ways that you can really amp up your productivity is by batching the things that you do. So focusing, say, okay, on Monday and Tuesday of the 1st and 2nd of the 1st, 3rd, 6th, 9th month, I'm going to sit down and I am going to write out 12 emails. 12 emails over 2 days. That's giving you, that's like enough time to write that number of emails. These don't have to be essays. I know I get some people that send rather short messages. I get some people that send, you know, messages that, in my opinion, are way too long. And what happens is, even if I want to hear from this person and I'm interested in what they've got to say, I know the style of their email. I know how long it's going to be. And I go, I haven't got time for that. And I scroll over it. And the number of times I do that, I've done that to the point where the person whose email list I'm on has sent me an email and said, hey, you know what? I don't want to send you emails if you're not interested in them. If you don't want to hear from me anymore, please feel free to click this button and I will take you off my list. And I'm like, no, I do want to hear from you, but your emails are so long that I don't take the time to read them because there's just so much in there. It's just too much for me. There is a balance to be struck, but you could definitely do 12 emails in 2 days and get them scheduled so that they go out every week. Like, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? So you don't have to think about it for like 12 weeks. Now, you may be somebody who emails like your content on a weekly basis. So maybe you've got a podcast, maybe you've got a blog, maybe you've got a video. Well, you could still do the automation process and then just drop in the link for your weekly thing at that time. So you're just adding in, and on this week's episode, we talk about XYZ. Here's a link to it. If you plan out your content, you will be able to do that because you will know. So I like to plan out my podcast titles for the year. I sit down at some point, which is coming up very, very soon because we are hitting year 3 of the podcast very, very soon, guys. And I will be sitting down and I will be planning out what my podcast episodes are going to look like for the next 12 months. And I let myself have some flexibility around it, but it would allow me to write my weekly emails just after I've done that planning session. I would be able to do 12 weeks without an issue because I know what podcast episodes are coming up. So when you know what you're doing in other areas, it makes this automation process a lot quicker, a lot smoother, and a lot more actionable for you. So definitely something to consider with your email automation. And the third thing I wanted to talk about was booking systems. Now, booking systems or forms, really, really great way to save you time in your business. Booking forms especially, like the number of times I have gone back and forth with somebody over our diaries and scheduling to get an appointment with them. And it can be like, I understand that it's the personal touch, and a lot of people, you know, it's like, oh yeah, let's chat. And if somebody just sends you a link to their calendar, it can seem a little bit cold, a little bit corporate perhaps, but we are all busy people and we are all trying to run our businesses. So if somebody wants one-to-one with you, sending them your calendar link is a smart way to get that one-to-one booked in. So if you have your calendar set up correctly and you're using a tool to use as your booking system, you will be able to set it up so that you have, you know, different length appointments for different things. So maybe there's a potential client on the horizon. You could have a discovery call booking where they can just book 30 minutes with you to talk about whatever it is that they want from you in your business so that you can see whether you're a good fit. Maybe you have a speed one-to-one section where you just do a 15-minute, you know, where somebody really wanted to talk to you about a particular thing they heard you say on a meeting, and they just want a quick 15 minutes with you just to see whether they were right in what they were thinking, and maybe you book a further appointment from that. Maybe you have your hour-long one-to-ones. Maybe you have client meetings. So as you go through the process, they've booked their discovery call, you've agreed that you're going to work together. Maybe there are follow-up calls. So you have your system set up so they can book those follow-up calls. I use a booking system for my podcast interviews. So I have two forms when it comes to that. I have a initial interest form set up in Google. So if somebody wants to come on my podcast, they can fill in a Google form, and that will let me know that they're interested and give me a little bit of basic information about what it is that they would like to talk about. And then I have my application when I've decided, yes, that person is suitable for the podcast. I will send them an invitation to book a podcast slot. And that comes with an application that goes into a bit more detail about who they are, what they do, what they're offering, and gives me some other information that I need so that I can do them justice on the podcast. So all of these things are automatic. Like if I had to get on a call with every single potential interviewee, then, you know, that would just not be viable for me. It would take up too much of my time. So by having this initial form that they fill in, I can tell whether that person is going to be suitable. One, they need to give me a sound bite of something else that they've done, whether it's been speaking in a meeting or speaking on another podcast, so that I can hear their voices and see whether it is the kind of voice that I would be happy to have on my podcast. The other is that they send me their main social platform so I can go and have a nose and see what it is that they put out on their social and if that aligns with my thoughts and feelings. Because although I don't mind having people on that have got different thoughts and feelings to me, if I think somebody is not working with the best interest of you guys, the listeners, if I think they're coming at it from a me angle, then I'm not going to want them on the show. And I have seen people that have applied to come on the show be very self-centered in the way that they're talking and perhaps not really thinking of the benefit to you guys. And so I won't have them on the podcast, because at the end of the day, this podcast is here to help you grow and streamline your business, not for somebody just to promote themselves. So I don't accept everybody, but that's how I filter that, because I can go to their social media, I can see what they're giving, and what they are sharing with their audience, and I can see the type of person that they are. So by doing that, I get a really good sense of who they are and whether they're a good fit. And then they can move on to actually booking a podcast time with me. I will email them after I've read their application and just say, yeah, it'd be a great fit. I'd really like to talk about X, Y, Z. How do you feel about that? And let them decide from there. And then I will send them the appointment. I don't just say, yeah, great, thanks for your form. Here's a booking. Because it's good to be clear on what the podcast is actually going to be about. So that is something to consider when you're doing your bookings, is just having those different forms for different stages, or those different bookings for different stages. And you can do that with your booking system as well. You can have, like, my booking system has the podcast application, has the questions for that podcast. They are asked to fill that out when they book. And then once they've booked, I get all that information and I can work with that information. So it would be really useful for you guys, if you've got clients and you have questions that you always have to ask them, get them to answer it before the call, because then that gets you to be more proficient when you get on the call. You're not wasting half the time asking those questions. So for example, in the wedding industry, there are set things you need to know. When's the wedding date? What venue are you at? You know, how long do you need me for? What type of music do you enjoy? You know, all of these sorts of things that you can actually pinpoint and get answers to before you get on a call, because then you can actually serve them better when you get on that call. You are able to then say, hey, I hear that I saw that you said that you really like pop rock. Well, I've got this great section in my library all on that, and I've got this artist and that artist. Who's your favorite? And you can start pulling on that information that you are getting from your potential client to make your appointment better from the outset, which puts you ahead of the game when it comes to actually booking that person for the job that you are service you're selling. So that is booking systems. I think they are really, really important and very underutilized. So I just want to track back a little bit and talk about the tools that I use and the tools that are available to help you with these different things. So when we talked about social media, I use Canva and I love Canva, and I will sing its praises from the rooftop. I have a really good experience with Canva. So if you are interested, I will have links to all of these tools and software in the show notes, so you'll just be able to go there and click right through. So Canva is my number one social media scheduling tool now that they do it, because I can do all my graphics, I can write the content, and I can schedule all in the same place. It's a game changer. But there is also Hootsuite, and Buffer, which are like old school. They've been around for years as scheduling tools. You also have Sprout Social, but I've not really heard or used that one before. I have used Hootsuite before and I have used Buffer before, but I just find Canva is better. You also have social scheduling on the platforms themselves. So you can schedule Facebook and Instagram posts through Facebook, and you can schedule, don't think LinkedIn has that option to schedule your post, but you do have it with Facebook. They allow you to schedule your Instagram and your Facebook posts through them. Then you also have Pinterest. So if you are on Pinterest, it's not a social media platform, it's a search engine, but they do have the ability to schedule your posts in Pinterest, but you can schedule Pinterest on Canva as well. So you can do all of it from Canva. I will bang on about it because I use it every single day. So I prefer to do it that way. But like I said, there are software tools such as the platform that I use for my websites and basically everything. They have a scheduling software built in. So you might have something that you use that has a built-in scheduling system. So there are other things out there. Have a look, check them out, see what you think. I would say something that can schedule to all of the platforms you're interested in from one space is the way to go, because you don't want to be scheduling from lots of different things if time is of the essence. So if you have got to go into Tailwind to do your repins, and Pinterest to do your pins, and Facebook to do your Instagram and Facebook. And then, you're going to do your LinkedIn in Canva because you can't schedule on LinkedIn. I don't know if that's true, guys. I've never tried to schedule on LinkedIn, but you know what I'm saying. And then, it's you may as well just do it on the platform itself at the time you want to do it if you're going to do that. So I would say definitely look at something that will post to all the platforms that you use regularly to save you time. Email automation. MailChimp is where I have been for the longest time. I have been using MailChimp since before 2014. I can't remember how long I've been using it for, a very long time. I used it through my wedding business when I was a wedding photographer, and I've been using it ever since. So MailChimp, I think, is a really user-friendly platform. It doesn't have as much functionality as some of the others, but if you are just getting started with email marketing, it's a great place to start because I think they really help you to understand the platform. They've got some great tutorials. HubSpot is also another email automation tool. ConvertKit is another one. And I use Mailgun through my website software provider. So the website platform that I use uses Mailgun as their email sender, but all of the automation is done through my software. So Mailgun is literally just the thing that takes the emails from where I put them and sends the responses back. So that is the thing that would be behind MailChimp. I don't know when MailChimp probably have their own version, but it's the email part of it, the sending and receiving part of it. So I use Mailgun along with the software that I use. So that is what I use. I will link it all in the show notes so you can have a look at all these different platforms and see what suits you best. For booking systems, again, I used to use Calendly. I liked Calendly a lot. I still kind of use it because I'm moving over to my new software with my calendar. So some people book through Calendly, some people book through my website at the moment. But Calendly, Appointee, Acuity, and maybe your website provider has a set up for scheduling appointments. There are many tools out there, and there are, mine is not a comprehensive list. This is just the ones that I know of that I've used, or that friends of mine have used. So those are tools you can look at for your booking systems. There are different booking systems for different trades. So I know that there is like a beauty booking system, hair booking system. So if you're a hairdresser or a beautician, there is booking systems that work specifically for you guys with your requirements. I think there's one for photographers as well. There is a graphics one. I think Desenio, does it for graphic designers and things like that. You can go in and it's a whole kind of CRM system where the work is shared through there as well as booking appointments and things. So there are lots out there. Do some research, see what suits you best. And don't forget, we were talking about hiring a VA last week. Well, a VA could help you set up these systems in your business. So if you are like completely confused about this, you could hire a VA for a couple of hours to help you set up MailChimp, or you could show you how to schedule through Canva or anything like that. You can hire people to help you get these things set up so that they're working in your business and saving you time. So I hope that has given you a little bit of insight into how automation can help you in your business. If you have any questions or comments, then please do reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram, Donna SPWV. You can find me on Facebook in the WPC UK Facebook group. So come and join us there. Let's have a conversation, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Don't forget to hit those stars and leave a review of the podcast where you listen if you found value in what you heard today. It's a free way you can help the podcast reach more people just like you.